I'm Sandor Nagyszalanczy, contributing editor to Woodworker's Journal magazine. And if I had to pick my least favorite woodshop task, it'd probably be sanding. So I wasn't too happy when I was asked some years ago to write an entire book on sanding wood. Now the upside was I learned some great tricks for making the sanding process a lot less tedious. But the most important thing I learned goes directly against the first rule we're all taught, which is to always sand with the grain. Turns out there's a method used in industry that not only smooths wood faster, but it even helps you get more mileage out of your sandpaper.
Wood is basically made up of a bunch of long fibers, like these soda straws, that run lengthwise on a board. When you sand with the grain, the particles are basically combing through the fibers and not abrading them very effectively. Sanding directly across the grain is very effective but leaves deep scratches. So the best compromise between efficiency and smoothness is sanding diagonally. Now the whole point of sanding a wood surface is to make it smooth and remove defects such as planer marks and areas of torn grain. Efficient sanding is always done in several stages, starting with coarser sandpaper, then using a slightly finer grit paper at each subsequent stage until final smoothness is achieved. Since this board surface is in pretty good shape, I'm going to start with 120 grit paper and sand diagonally in only one direction. Once I've given the surface a good going over, I examine it with a flashlight to make sure I've sanded below all defects and left only a consistent pattern of diagonal scratches. I then draw a few pencil lines across the board to help remind me of the direction in which I just sanded. Then I switch to my next finer grade sandpaper, which in this case is 180 grit. Now I sand the board diagonally in the opposite direction of my last pass. By reversing directions, I can easily see if I've missed any scratches left from the previous sanding stage. Once this stage is complete, I change to my finest grit paper and sand with the grain, taking care to remove any remaining scratches.
Now the technique I just showed you is not just for hand sanding. It also works very effectively with a handheld belt sander or when passing panels through a stationary wide belt sander. It isn't necessary though with a random orbit or an orbital sander, as these tools already produce a circular scratch pattern.